There are multiple topics I'm going to talk about in this video, and I'm going to keep this video as quick as possible. So let's get into this. The first thing I want to bring up is, well, Dr. Anthony Fauchi, the supposed science expert about and supposed virologist, he's been tested positive for the China virus. So yeah, that goofball, that fraudulent piece of dog mess, who's been telling us and constantly flip-flopping, talking about how these things, these masks, supposed to work and all that kind of stuff, which, by the way, it does not at all. You know, even if it's a KN95 mask or whatever, none of that BS worked. But I digress, because, you know, he is basically a globalist prick. I just want to go on the record and say that, yeah, you know, it was bound to happen. It was going to catch up right to him. And then he was talking about, you know, that people like you and I should get the jab, which, by the way, the jab is complete BS. But I'm willing to bet he refused. He himself didn't bother taking it. You know, given he's like a hypocrite. So Dr. Fauci, how about that? How's that working out for you? I mean, you tell us how we should run our lives, but you're apparently not doing the same. And now all of a sudden you ended up getting caught with the China bug. Yeah. Another thing I want to talk about is David Warthog. Yeah, I call him David Warthog. This fool is literally a total tool. This fool is a total retard. And let me also say this right here, because Mr. Warthog basically wants to talk about how putting law enforcement officers in the schools would put minorities students at risk. What? Really? Is that fool on? Did that fool, you know, is that fool high or something like that? Did that fool snort some cocaine or something like that? Like, or did he inject some fentanyl in his body? Really? And let me also say this right here. I'm willing to bet that fool never even ventured or taken place or literally been in the hood. Like, say for instance, like me, I lived on the far south side of Chicago. I've seen how you know people in that area, you know, it's a crime infested hellhole. So yeah, Mr. Warthog is just a complete idiot. And if anybody takes that fool seriously, you need help. Lay off the crack pipe that Joke Biden has distributed to you. Also, over here in Madison, there's this church that was that was having a gun buyback drive or something like that was going on. Now, let me go on the record and say this. You know, gun buybacks do not freaking work. It never worked. You know, it's a complete farce. And why is that? Because every time those particular those particular events are being held, it's only targeting the law-abiding citizen. It ain't targeting the criminals. You know, it ain't targeting the skinheads or the KKK. It ain't targeting the Crips and the Bloods. And it sure as hell ain't targeting the drug cartels that be coming from south of the border. So they held a gun buyback thing going on. And I'm willing to bet this church, you know, obviously I've seen photos of their on Google Maps. This church obviously got a sodomite flag, you know, that is hanging out on their building. You know, talk about with this all are welcome nonsense. But the truth of the matter is, you know, they're complete flip-floppers. They're complete retards too. And I don't feel sorry for those who participated in that, especially living here in this progressive leftist run hellhole, which that's what Madison really is. Sad part is Madison as a city, you know, the crime rate is having an uptick. And that's what happens when you vote for liberal leftist policies that never freaking worked. But that's all I got to say about this video. I am Chuck Johnson, a.k.a. Kid Thunder. You guys have a wonderful day.